All right, everybody. Now the microphone is working great. Hey, you didn't miss anything. I'm just welcoming you to the 120th SongBike Guitar Q&A Livestream, the post-Thanksgiving edition, the post-Black Friday edition. If you are tuned in, then you figured out that we're starting 1 hour earlier tonight. I hope you picked up on that either from social media, my posts on Instagram or Facebook, or maybe you picked up on it from my email list. So there we go. The sound is back. You didn't miss anything. We're going to have a great show today. A bunch of our regular features are going to be featured. I'm here for your guitar-related questions. And we have a poll question. The poll question of the night. You ready? If you're in the chat, please vote for your dream gig. Is your dream gig that you are the screaming lead guitar all-star, doing all that great lead guitar stuff at the front of the stage while people worship you? Or are you the rhythm guitar master who has those sweet background vocals? I didn't want to make you guys choose just between rhythm and lead guitar because lead guitar seems so, glamorous. But if you're the rhythm guitar player, you're back there, you're nailing chord after chord after chord, all those strum patterns, you're just nailing song after song. And there you are in those harmony vocals. Who's more important than that person, right? Well, we're about to find out. So there's your poll question of the night. Other things you have to look forward to tonight include, oh man, a bunch of fun stuff. My own dumb question of the week. We're going to talk about 3 more Grammy nominees in 3 different categories. Some extremely talented people. I'm going to get you hip to them. We have a weekly teaching feature that I nicknamed WTF, a weekly teaching feature on the C chord. What? How long can you possibly talk about the C chord? Oh, we're going to talk a lot about lots of things you can do when the world tells you to play a C. Don't go anywhere. That's one of our weekly teaching features. I also have a chord diagram, but it's not what you think. But one of my students emailed me this graphic image, and it's a very cool instructional thing regarding chord theory. I think you'll get a kick out of it. If the word theory scares you, this won't scare you. Stick around. It's multicolored. How scary could it be? Lots of pretty colors. Another weekly teaching feature. Oh, I might play you a song out of the Christmas book. For those of you who own the Christmas book that I put out a few years back, or who are thinking about it, I want to play you a song from that. We, of course, have not just one, but 2 student quotes of the week. 2 students said 2 very cool things, and I want to share those with you. We have a great play-along song of the week, just a classic tune. For this classic tune, you're going to need G, A minor, B minor, C, D, and E minor. 6 chords. You up for it? Of course you are. The B minor chord, I'm going to give you a workaround, although you should get great at doing B minor a variety of ways. But in case B minor is the one of the 6 that scares you, there's actually going to be a little workaround for that B minor chord. Who's in town? I got 3 names to share with you, 3 very talented people who are coming through my neck of the woods. If they're coming through here, then maybe they're coming through your area too. If we have time, I want to talk to you a little bit about an Australian study. Let me make sure. I want to give credit where credit is due. I believe this is a study out of Australia talking about music and dementia. I know, dementia. But hey, look, the story is a positive story. And let me just make sure I'm giving the right people the right credit. I saved it somewhere. I'm pretty sure it's the right one. Melbourne, unless there's another Melbourne out there in the world. Yes, it's a study out of Melbourne. We'll talk about that if we have time today. I'll cut right to the chase, though. The point of the study, the reason I'm bringing it up with you is music is good for your brain. We knew that already, but it's always great to have scientific proof, always great. Okay, so how about if we get right into some learning stuff? That is why I'm here. I want to say hello to a bunch of friends in the chat. Christian, thanks for joining us. Beginner Guitar Lessons is our moderator. Thank you for being here, Beginner Guitar Lessons. Winston from Wales is checking in. Dusty Dave is checking in. Oh, Dusty, you got a question. So Dusty Dave, you're asking a great question. Dusty Dave says, any advice for an aspiring guitar instructor? feel free to elaborate as deep as you want. Dusty Dave, it's a great question. And of course, I could talk about that for the entire show. Well, first of all, you should steal everything that I do. And you have my permission. Anything that I put on the screen, anything that I talk about, steal it all. Especially stuff that clicks in your brain. If you think, hey, I understand that. If I understand it, then I can explain it. And if I understand it and I can explain it, then I'm probably going to be a successful teacher on that particular topic, right? So, aspiring guitar instructor, some of the obvious stuff, you want to have your skills at as high a level as possible. Even though trust me, you will not use every one of your advanced guitar skills every lesson, but you never want to stop learning yourself and polishing your skills. Sounds kind of obvious, but that's I feel obligated to say that. Like a lot of jobs, I think what any teacher needs is people skills as much as, in this case, guitar skills. You need people skills. You need to listen. And my listening ability has improved my ability to read people. I know it sounds a little nefarious, but my ability to listen at a deeper level has improved over the years. And hopefully a few of my students would back me up on that I'm a pretty good listener. You're going to use skills as a guitar teacher that go way beyond your physical abilities on the guitar. In fact, I'm not even sure your physical abilities on the guitar are the most important thing. They may not be. There's certainly a strong argument to be made for a bunch of other skills. Hey, your own ability to organize your work routine, your ability to be on time, your ability to listen to what the student is saying. Dusty Dave, I'm sure many other things will pop into my head during today's show. One of the things that you may find yourself struggling with is your level of commitment to becoming a better and better musician may be at this level, and many of your students' level of commitment to improving as a musician may likely be lower than yours. And that's something that you're just going to have to make your peace with. Many human beings on the planet play guitar as a hobby, not as a profession. And that is your client base. And if you want to pay your bills teaching the guitar, you have to accept that you're going to be working with people who do guitar as a hobby, and their level of passion might not be the same as your level of passion. And no big deal, right? No big deal. But just be aware that that's something that I sort of realized early on, and it comes with the territory. It comes with the territory. And when you have a student whose level of passion is equal, or heaven forbid, even greater than yours, then that will be another road to navigate. That also brings a type of intensity to a lesson that can be pretty heavy. So I'm sure I'll think of lots and lots of other things. I could write a book. I could write a book on teaching guitar. In fact, Dusty Dave, I know I'm asking for an investment, but I have 3 books called The Guitar Week 1, The Guitar Month 1. These are PDF electronic books. And wait for it. There we go. The Guitar Year 1. I feel so strongly about these books. If you got yourself a copy of these books, they're electronic books, so you could order them in the next 5 minutes. They'd show up in your inbox 5 seconds later. This is 100% great preparation for anyone who wants to start teaching the guitar. It's not I would not say these are the only materials you should use, but people were asking me for beginner guitar material, and that's why I wrote these electronic books. People who weren't in a position to take lessons from me, but wanted to see how I would teach a beginner. So Guitar Week 1, Guitar Month 1, Guitar Year 1, available from my website, song-bike.com. They're not particularly expensive. Depending on exactly what you charge, these would pay for themselves in the first lesson that you teach. So I think those would be, in my opinion, so incredibly helpful for you getting started teaching beginners specifically, right? Teaching beginners specifically. Okay. And Dusty Dave, I'm sure other things will come to mind. I love talking about my job. Who doesn't love talking about the job? Okay, so let's get into some, speaking of teaching stuff, let's get into teaching something right here, me and you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my downloads. That's what I want. The C chord. That's what I'm looking for right there. Excellent. I'm going to shrink it down a little bit smaller. Excellent. Okay, now what are you about to learn? Check this out. And Dusty Dave, this is a perfect thing for you to steal from me and steal both the actual material, but the concept as well. The world is going to ask you to play a C chord. You don't have to grab the traditional old-fashioned C chord and wait for the song to begin. Sometimes that's actually the wrong thing to do. How can that C chord be the wrong thing? Well, what if that doesn't fit the song? Just because someone tells you to play a C chord doesn't mean they're aware of all the options as a guitar player. They might not know that you have, or that you're going to have, a bunch of tricks up your sleeve so that when the song starts, you can play something that, in your opinion, fits the song really nicely, even if it's not the traditional C chord. Okay, so I'm going to make this a bit bigger. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so top of the page, we have a bunch of chord diagrams, and those chord diagrams are also what's going on with the tab on the first two lines right there. We have your typical C chord. Everyone give it up for the C chord, right? Nothing wrong with that C chord. That 3 in parentheses on the 6th string, that note is waiting for you as a note that you can throw into your C chord strumming, especially if you're doing a boom chick kind of sound. Okay, that's where that 3 in parentheses on the 6th string, the fat E string, that's why that's there. All the notes you see in parentheses, those are notes that are available as embellishments. By the way, what I'm showing you is, I was going to say it's the tip of the iceberg. No, it's most of the iceberg, but it still represents simply some of the options when the world asks you for a C chord. So you chord police, you rhythm guitar police, stand down, but these are a bunch of good options that you really want to be familiar with. Okay, by the way, see how there are 2 vertical lines between all those, tabbed out chords? Those 2 vertical lines are my way of saying this is not a song that you play all the way across, right? These are all separate things, separate C chords. Okay, the second one, 3-5-5. Nice, pretty kind of high-pitched C chord, not the highest one we'll find, but the nice thing about that 3-5-5 C chord is it's relatively close to the nut. So to get up there, or once you're there to get back down into first position to play cowboy chords and stuff, it's not that big of a jump. Okay, how about the next one? 5-5-5 on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings. Please do that with one finger, because that's going to free up your other fingers to add in nice embellishment notes, such as 6 on the 2nd string. Okay, by the way, if you kept that 6 down, or any of the parenthetical notes, if you kept them down and really committed to strumming that new chord, yeah, then it wouldn't be just a C chord anymore. So at the moment, I want you to think of those parenthetical notes as temporary little notes that you can put in to make your C chord fancier. I was going to say jazz up your C chord. None of these are particularly jazzy. Okay, what about that 8, 9, 10 on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings? Those of you who are dying to play something up the neck, there you go. 8, 9, 10. And that 10 in parentheses, it's a chance for your pinky to jump in and do something. That's 10 on the 2nd string, the B string. great sounding note happens to be the 6th degree of a C major scale. So for that brief moment, your pinky's on that 10 on the B string, that would be known as a C6 chord. And that same note's going to appear on the next version of the C chord, the 8, 8, 9, the 3 treble strings. Please, pet peeve, use one finger for both of the 8s on the 2 treble strings. Don't use 2 separate fingers. Don't do it. I know somewhere out there, one of you is saying, well, I'll use 2 separate fingers and I'll reach over. No one does that but beginners. Don't do it. Don't do it. If you're struggling with keeping that nice grip on the 2 treble strings with your index and reaching over to the 9th fret on the 3rd string, if you're struggling with that, practice. All right, little tough love. Nobody does 2 separate fingers on the 2 treble strings. Don't do it. Don't do it. Nobody wants to look like a beginner, right? That's how you look like a beginner. Think, well, maybe I'll fudge it. Maybe I'll figure out, I'll find my own way of doing it. No, just practice. Okay, what about that 12, 13, 12? Recognize that grip, 12, 13, 12? You know what that grip is. It's the D formation, D like delta. It's the D formation, just way up, high up the neck, 12, 13, 12. It's a C chord. And some of you are getting kind of freaked out because in your mind, a C chord literally is those 3 fingers and those 3 frets, the old-fashioned cowboy chord, C chord. So now is a time to remind you that a C chord is simply a group of 3 specific notes that can be played on any instrument, any octave, high, low, medium, anything. A C chord is a concept. It's not a 3-finger grip that guitar players own, right? Ask a piano player what a C chord is, and whatever their concept is, it's not going to be the same as your grip, right? They're thinking of how piano players think of chords. Okay. And that 13 in parentheses on the 1st string, so pretty, right? Okay, so everything you just played, that whole top line, those are all C chords. I know you believe me, but we could prove it by, announcing that a C chord is the note C and the note E and the note G. C, E, G, right? That group of 3 notes, that's the definition of a C chord on any instrument. And I guarantee you every one of those chords you just played in the top line contains 1 C note, 1 E note, and 1 G note. Okay, now, line 2, all of a sudden we have a C power chord. Power chords do not contain 3 different notes. You might see 3 numbers, 3, 5, 5. There's a low C, a G like golf, and a high C. So do you get how a power chord is not the same as a regular chord? It's missing one of the notes. It can substitute for a C chord, but a C power chord has its own personality. I put that 0 in parentheses because it can sound pretty cool to be playing a C power chord, lift off your index finger to access the open A string, and then put your index finger back for the power chord. I call that getting a note for free because I'm getting that A note by literally doing less work. My index finger is leaving the 5th string. Very cool. Again, why are we doing this right now? Imagine yourself in a situation. Some friend of yours has written a song, whether they are a guitar-based songwriter or piano-based songwriter. Those are the 2 big ones, I would venture to say. You want to have as many options as possible. If it's a guitar player and they're already strumming the C chord down here, right? Well, then you don't want to just double what they're doing, right? Then you definitely want to have other options. And if it's a piano player, well, you have no idea how the piano player is going to be playing their C chord, and you don't want to get lost in a blur of similar sounding notes with a piano player, even though they're playing C's, E's, and G's, and you're playing C's, E's, and G's. What if the piano chord is kind of a lower sound, and you play a higher version? I'm going to do that 8, 8, 9. Yeah, that sounds great, right? Nice compliment, Okay, moving on. That second power chord, line 2, that 8, 10, 10. By the way, how would you know just from looking at that it's a power chord? Because it's the classic power chord shape. uh, a low number, a number on a low string, I should say, meaning like in this case, the fat E string, and then 1 or 2 numbers on top of it that are exactly 2 frets higher, 8, 10, 10, get it? That's how you know that's a power chord. It is neither major nor minor. But it can still work as a very nice substitution for just a regular C major chord. Okay, one more, and then we're going to take a break. 9, 10, 10. You know what that's going to feel like? Depending on the fingers that you use, an E major chord. E major, E like echo. Just slit up the neck. 9, 10, 10. Now, why would you want to play C that way? That seems a little different, because you could play lots and lots of major chords with that grip. Okay, so now is a good time to point out that we're going way beyond the C chord here, right? Way beyond the C chord. With the exception of the very first one, that old-fashioned standard C chord, these are all closed position chords. There's no open string involved, not inherently in the chord itself, right? That means you can take any of these C chords and move them up and down the neck and alphabetically change them to other chords. Let me give you an example. For the fun of it, I'm going to take that 9, 10, 10 I just played. C chords and D chords, D as in delta, have a great relationship. You take any C chord and move it up 2 frets higher. That means 2 frets closer to your picking hand, 2 frets. And there's a D chord. Any C chord up 2 frets. Now you have a D chord. Hey, what if you're playing a song that has C's and D's in it? Well, then you're all set. However you choose to do the C chord. Move it up 2 frets, and there's your D chord. So even though this page is labeled C, we're just scratching the surface, right? How about B? B as in baseball. I'm back at my C chord. C and B have an even closer relationship. You only go 1 fret backwards towards the headstock of the guitar to turn a C chord into a B chord. Now, that is not a likely chord progression. I'm not saying you're going to be playing a lot of C majors to B majors. I'm pointing out, though, that as long as you're confident about where a C major chord is, anywhere on the neck, then you already have a B major waiting for you right behind it. In this case, the B major chord, you could describe it as an 8, 9, 9. And C was 9, 10, 10. Okay, so even though everything on the page is, based on C chord options, you can do pretty much any of these examples and turn them into any major chords. You got to know the musical alphabet, which, yes, it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but you have to know some relationships. How B and C are 1 fret apart. And what's the other one? E and F. E and F are 1 fret apart. Remember, C up to D, I had to move 2 frets to take a C chord and go up 2 frets to make it a D chord. That's pretty standard, a jump of 2 frets to get to another chord like that. But C and B, only 1 fret apart, and E and F. And we'll talk about that. That's a whole nother lesson. But all the time you invest in these options right here, you're going to be using these in many scenarios, not just C chord scenarios. Okay, scrolling up. By the way, this is a PDF that will be available on my website. So don't feel you have to, scramble to get a pencil. Okay. One of my favorite things. Hey, Barry joined us. Hey, Barry, thanks for joining. I know we started a little bit earlier, Barry. Hopefully this makes it a little bit easier for you to watch. Anybody, let me know in the chat if this early start today actually helped you. Maybe you didn't have to stay up quite so late, or maybe it frees up your evening a little bit. We might wrap up a little bit early tonight because I got a band rehearsal. We're getting ready for a December 13 gig. And tonight's a rehearsal night for us. So I might wrap up a little bit earlier than usual. Instead of a 2-hour show, it might be more like a 90-minute show. We'll see. We'll see what kind of fun we're having. Okay. This is something that's near and dear to my heart. Just because a song is described as starting on a C chord or using a C chord. Sometimes you don't actually play a C chord. Sometimes you play notes that reflect a C chord, but are a lot more fun than just strumming a C chord. What do I mean? Okay, I'm going to scroll this. So when I say the top of the page, it really is the top of the page. Okay. Sometimes you might be playing a cool bass line instead of a C chord. Okay, that's that 3-3-2-2-5-5-2-2. That's a nice little bass line. Is it a C chord? Yes and no. It is not a C chord in that it's not your traditional strumming up and down on a bunch of strings. Does it reflect the C chord? 100%. Because remember, the ingredients of a C chord are the notes C. E is in echo, G is in golf. And literally I'm playing C, C, E, E, G, G, E, E. Sometimes that's your job. Remember Green Onions, playing Green Onions on one of our live play-along songs recently. There are moments in Green Onions when Steve Cropper is playing the bass line on the guitar. It's a lot of fun. Okay, the second example on the top line, I'm going to give it a little swing feeling. Yeah, man, that's reflective of a C chord. Just throwing in one more note. Hey, Matt Delahunt has joined us. Hey, Matt. So now these may not be particularly tricky for you. Good. But you still want to have them at the forefront of your mind, right on your fingertips, so that, again, the scenario here is someone tells you the chords of a song, and you want to think beyond just the traditional ways of strumming the chords. The second line here. Just a nice bass line. There's definitely times in Beatles songs, for example, when the guitar part is mimicking the bass line. It's a great combination. Okay, now for those of you who have never done this exact kind of thing before, awesome. That makes me so happy. So I hope at least one of you, I know we got a bunch of people watching right now. I hope at least one of you has never done this type of playing before. I put finger designations in there: M for middle finger, I for index, P for pinky. Those are pretty mandatory. Some of you might tend to have your ring finger jump up and play higher frets, but in this case, I feel strong. You definitely want to use your pinky finger to play those higher notes. Okay. Clearly, the three examples I just did there, the two at the top of the page and the one on line 2, they all have a similar kind of a blues, early R&B kind of vibe, right? But they illustrate what I want to illustrate, spelling out the chords on the lower strings of the guitar. Okay, that 3-3-7-5, that example. That's in my mind, that'll always be the Drive My Car. Asked a girl what she wanted to be. The Drive My Car riff. I'm probably not doing it in the right key, but I associate it with Drive My Car by the Beatles. Okay. The riff, and I'm talking about the 3-3-7-5-5-3, the second line up from the bottom, third line down from the top. Notes, you could describe that as notes from a you could describe it as, again, the C, E, and G notes, that reflect the C major chord. You could describe it as a C major pentatonic riff. I could see someone describing it that way. Okay, whatever you do, when it says I, use your index. When it says R, use your ring. That slash mark that's tilting up towards the 7, and the other slash mark that's going the other direction down towards the 5, those are fast slides with your ring finger. The slide stops at 7. Where should the slide begin? It doesn't matter, because it's a fast slide, so the listener doesn't hear where it begins. But between you and me, I would start the slide at 5 and go up to 7. And when it's the slide down to 5, but it doesn't tell you where the slide should begin, I would reverse it. I would put my ring finger on 7 and quickly and confidently slide down to 5. Why didn't I just write that on the paper? Excellent question. Because I want to train you to be aware that when someone tells you to slide, but they don't tell you where to slide from, number one, it's a fast slide, like fast, fast. And number two, I want to encourage you to figure it out, right? If my index finger is on 3, like it says there, and you have to slide your ring finger up to 7, well, common sense, right? Look where my ring finger is, right? If your ring finger is attached to your body, kind of like mine is, it's pretty much hovering right around the 5th fret. And given that you have the freedom to start the slide anywhere, why not do it where it's most natural, right? But that's the kind of thing I want you to figure out on your own. So pretend I didn't tell you that. Okay, but anyways, that's why you'll see slide indications that that don't tell you where to begin. If they do tell you where to begin the slide, that's great. Chances are it's a slower slide, and it's slower to create a different effect. If I went like, right, that's the effect you get with a slower slide. What a cool sound. As opposed to just a different effect. Okay, and at the bottom of the page, something that's near and dear to my heart. The premise at the very bottom of the page is you're grabbing a regular old C chord, the good old-fashioned open position cowboy C chord. See all those 3s? The 3 on the 1st string, 2nd string, 3rd string, 4th string. Those are all notes that your left hand pinky, your fretting hand pinky, can access and simply add on to the C chord in a temporary sort of way. Now, I'm not saying you're obligated to add all those notes, but all 4 of those notes, those 4 3rd fret notes on the 4 treble strings, those are all accessible by your pinky, and your pinky can have some fun adding in some nice notes in there. Again, the premise of this lesson right now, the world is asking for a C chord. You can give them a C chord, but then your pinky can add some nice flavor. The 3 on the 6th string, I recommend just having your ring finger hop over and get that 3 as needed. And another of my personal favorites, that 2, that 2, well, that 2 is a perfectly good note. That's the 2 you're holding down anyways. It's a good note to hammer onto. But I also meant to include 2 on the 3rd skinny string. That's your middle finger. It's going to be your middle finger, dropping down towards the floor, leaving the 4th string 2nd fret, dropping down to the 3rd string 2nd fret. So on the paper, it's fine that I put that 2 on the D string on the paper there at the bottom of the page. But what I meant to do was 2 on the 3rd skinny string. That's just a great way to embellish a C major chord. Hey, True, S. Armour is here. Hey, True. True, we are talking about many, many, many options. I'm going to zoom out here for a second on how to play a C chord. And the premise is the world has instructed you, informed you that, the C chord is something that you need to strum. Maybe your buddy wrote a song and the song starts in a C chord, and you want to have a lot of options, lots and lots of options on how to give the world a C chord beyond the classic one that we all learn, right? Okay, so questions, comments. The chords at the top of the page, I call those bite-sized chords. There's little like 3-string chords that go up the neck. I call those bite-sized chords. So in case you want a cute thing to call them, that's what I call them. Like Halloween candy, right? Bite-size. Power chords are the first 2 chords on line 2. Power chords have their own personality. Bass lines on line 3 and 4. Cool little pentatonic kind of riff on line 5, and then all those pinky notes that are available for you on the bottom of the page. Okay, so you guys feel good about that? Now remember, this I have an agenda here, and it goes way beyond the C chord. My agenda is for you guys to take everything on that page and move it all 2 frets higher, 2 frets towards the bridge of your guitar, towards your pickups if you're playing electric guitar, towards the sound hole if you're playing acoustic guitar, 2 frets up. And everything on this page would then be called a D chord, a D riff, a D bass line, a D power chord, you name it, right? If you can successfully do that, if you can successfully take a piece of information and move it 2 frets up the neck, then you've achieved something that is both, you get a gold star for that, and you kind of have to do it. You have to be able to take guitar information and move it up the neck towards the bridge and sound hole and down the neck towards the headstock. And it can be slightly disorienting at first, depending on how confident you are about doing it in general or doing that particular thing. But be patient with yourself. It's worth it. Because then you're going to be the person up and down the neck having all the fun. Okay, that PDF will be available on my website. I might correct that last little thing. I'm going to correct it. It wasn't a mistake. It just wasn't the one I intended. Now, let's face it, it was a mistake. I'll own it. Okay, that's why whiteout was invented. Okay, so let's take a breath. Don't forget to vote in our poll, the poll question of the night. You got to choose one. Are you going to be, if you're on a gig, do you want to be the lead guitar all-star on the gig, playing those screaming notes? This is a fantasy gig kind of question. Or do you want to be the rhythm guitar master, but you also get the superpower of singing beautiful harmony vocals? Tough one. So do vote in that poll. Of course, I'm here to tell you that you can be both. Sure, you can be both. Why not? I'm going to wet my whistle. Don't go anywhere. All right. So now lots of stuff for us to do tonight. Keep the questions coming in. Let's bang out a couple of things. My own dumb question of the week. Let's do it. My own dumb question of the week. Does playing guitar, or any musical instrument for that matter, does it make your ear better? Well, it's a dumb question. Of course, right? Of course, you're thinking about music, you're playing music, it must make your ear better, right? Magically. What does it even mean to make your ear better? I don't know. I guess we should decide what it means before we try to answer the question. Is it a dumb question? Does playing a musical instrument make your ear better? Does it mean you can hear, like, further distances? You can hear the snap of a twig way off in the woods somewhere. Does it make you a better listener in that sense? I don't know. Does it make you more aware of musical subtleties? You'd hope so, right? Does playing an instrument make you a better listener? Does it improve your ear? That's my dumb question of the week. What I think the answer is? If you listen better, your ear will get better. If you and it's hard to imagine someone not listening better, but if someone's focus is simply putting their finger in the right place, like we all have to, right? I mean, there's a time, especially in the beginning, where you're just trying to accomplish the motor skills and get a clear ringing note. But your ear will improve as you get past that stage and you start listening to subtleties that may not seem so subtle anymore after a while, like how a major chord sounds different from a minor chord. Raise your hand if you think you could hear the difference between someone strumming E major and E minor. Blindfold test, right? Turn your back. Someone strums E major, someone strums E minor. Could you hear the difference and be able to call it? That's an interesting test. If someone made a major chord versus a seventh chord, could you hear the difference? I'm guessing a lot of you could, but that's something to ask yourself. Does that mean your ear is getting better? I mean, maybe you could have heard that before you ever picked up the guitar, but I think I would err on the side that says, of course, your ear gets better the more you play an instrument. But don't prove me wrong. Don't prove me wrong. Listen to what you're playing, you know? We work so hard at doing things faster. We work very hard at getting chords to be perfect. I get it. Chord transitions, right? You know, you're just working on, you know, going from C to F or from, you know, B minor to anything, right? You're working on that. That's what your practice time is. I get it. I get it. Just working on bar chords, right? I get it. I get it. Uh, but to the extent that you can listen to the quality, not just the quality of the sound, like is something buzzing, but you know the flavor, how a major sound is different than a minor sound, how a power chord is neither major nor minor. Power chords have their own personality. I encourage you to listen consciously and conscientiously, even though I know you're putting the time working on all the physical stuff. But yeah, that's how you make your ear better. Um, I've had many students over the years say that after doing guitar lessons for weeks and months, when they go to hear live music, they focus on the guitar player and just notice so much more about what the guitar player is doing than they ever would have before they play guitar. And some of that might be visual stuff, but I'm sure some of it is you know your ear is tuning in too. Anyways, that's my dumb question of the week. Does playing guitar or playing any musical instrument make your ear better? Yeah, I think so. Uh, let's talk about a couple of Grammy nominees. 2025 Grammy nominees, people who just might win their Grammy on February 1st of 2026. We got 3 of them. And well, we have many of them. Tonight, we have 3 to focus on. And you guys know I do this because I love it. And it helps me get tuned into some music I wouldn't have heard otherwise. Either some folks that are completely unfamiliar to me, or some of them are familiar, but get to do a deep dive and learn a little bit more. On the screen right now, you are seeing the website. And if your screen goes black, don't freak out. The website from previous Grammy winner, I believe she's already won 5 Grammys, from Africa, Angelique Kidjo. I believe her country is Benin. I'm going to click on the career tab on her thing. There we go. 5-time Grammy Award winner, Angelique Kidjo. Time magazine called her Africa's premier diva. Very beautiful singer. Very interesting. I'm in the description of this live stream. I am including for you a link to her website, but also a very cool performance. The actual performance that got her nominated for a Grammy this time, a song called Jerusalem. That's the song that got her a nomination in the category Best Global Music Performance, Angelique Kidjo. So a link to that performance on YouTube and a link to her website will be in the description of this live stream. Okay, who else is up for a Grammy this year? Ooh, Corey Henry and the Treme Funk Tet. I'm going to close this down. Here comes Corey Henry. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. And again, if your screen goes black for a moment, don't worry. Corey Henry and the Treme Funk Tet, they have a live album, and I believe it's just called Corey Henry and the Treme Funk Tet Live. Best Regional Roots Music Album, Grammy nominee. Very cool stuff, very hip stuff, a lot of great horns. I went to New Orleans once, and that was one of my many takeaways from New Orleans. All the horns, so many horns. Corey Henry is a pianist, but the video that I'll put the link to is a chance for you guys to see some great New Orleans horns as well as part of his performance. Okay, and how about one more Grammy nominee? Our 3rd Grammy nominee of tonight's live stream. We heard about the Global Music Performance nominee, the Regional Roots Music Album nominee, and up for Best Folk Album. Best Folk Album, there we go, right there. The group boom, known as I'm With Her. The name of the group is I'm With Her, and their album is called Wild, Clear, and Blue. And that's the album that got them a nomination in the Best Folk Album category. So I'm going to put a link to their website and to a video of them performing the song called Wild, Clear, and Blue in the description of this live stream. Just 3 more extremely talented people nominated for Grammys this year. It's only November, and by the time the February 1st Grammy Awards roll around, you will be so informed about all the cool, talented people who are nominated. Some of these performers will not be featured live on stage, which is a dirty, rotten shame. I wish they would. I'm going to repeat myself because a year ago I was saying this exact same thing. For those of you who've been watching for since last November, I have this fantasy of an alternative Grammy TV presentation. Maybe how about in the morning, a morning Grammy show with all the categories that don't get the same spotlight as the pop stars. And there's so many talented people in so many categories. You could put on a show not to be believed. It would be an amazing concert. Get everyone, on stage and have them all do a couple of tunes. And it would be such a great show. Music from all over the world, all over the US. True said they did that and no one watched it. I don't know. Doesn't mean they shouldn't do it again, man. Education. It's all about education. Maybe they didn't promote it. It's a fair bet they didn't promote it too well. Anyways, that's my fantasy. I would love that so much. It would be an amazing show. Okay, so checking off things. We are going to do a great play along song of the week shortly. Because we started an hour early, I want to wait just a little bit later in the program to do our play along song. Usually we do it right about the midway point, but a bunch of people are going to be joining us in the next 5 or 10 minutes because they didn't get the memo that the show is starting a little bit earlier. So I don't want them to miss the play along thing. But we will be getting to that. And it's a great tune. You don't need a capo. You don't need an F chord. You don't need bar chords at all. But you do need, you need to do G with a middle ring and pinky. At least that's how I'm going to strongly encourage you. So while we're talking about other stuff, before our play along song, start working on your G major chord with your middle ring and pinky, no index finger. Okay. So December 13th is a Saturday, and I'm going to be streaming music to you guys, but it's not going to be this show. It's going to be me and Clay, me and my buddy. So December 13, this live stream will not be happening. But I sure do hope you tune in to hear us play. And 6 to 8, I believe we're playing 6 to 8 Eastern time. I'll tell you in a minute. And I'm bound and determined to, there we go, stream it with better quality in every regard. Okay, just double check here. I want to be able to tell you 5 to 8. Okay, so December 13, me and my buddy playing for you at a local bar, 5 p.m. Eastern to 8 p.m. Eastern, okay, on December 13th. So now you know. And if we get our act together, we'll have a little virtual tip jar so you can show your appreciation. And partly I'm doing that for financial reasons. Partly I'm doing it out of curiosity because, like I said earlier, last week or so, if everybody who actually watches it, if history is going to repeat itself, we get quite a few views. If everyone gave $1, it would be the most lucrative gig I'd ever played by a factor of 5 or 10 or something. So we're gonna give the virtual tip jar a shot and just see what happens. Okay. Now next Saturday, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we're talking about this. Next Saturday, I will not be around. So no live stream at all next Saturday. I'm so sorry about that. I miss you guys. My son is swimming in a big college swim tournament, and my Mrs. Songbike and I always go to watch him and cheer him on. And there's just no way to do the show. Sorry about that. So I will not see you next Saturday. I will not be doing this exact show on Saturday the 13th, but I will be doing the live stream. So I will be doing the gig and streaming it. So I believe Saturday the 20th might be the next time I'll be doing this exact thing with you guys, Saturday, December 20th. I don't foresee any reason why we can't make that happen. Okay. Just want to get a little paperwork out of the way like that. All right. How about student quote of the week? Let's get at 2 student quotes of the week for you. Randy, are you out there? Randy said something. Randy is a regular participant in these live streams, and Randy posted on his social media. He posted something that cracked me up. He said, having a nice play along with Muddy Waters and BB King. The interwebs aren't all bad. YouTube, amp, and Telecaster into headphones. No witnesses! Exclamation point. And I thought, yeah, man, that's, what a world we live in, that you can like literally have a play along with Muddy Waters, right? Pull up a video performance and a song and some, streaming platform. And, the art form that you and I have chosen to pursue, playing a musical instrument, allows for that type of thing. Pull up one of the masters and just play along with them. How cool is that? And then I like how he said, no witnesses, meaning, hey, you know what happens in the comfort of your home stays right there. How fun is that? Okay, second student of the quote of the week. Sometimes I say something kind of dumb, and I realize it just a little bit too late. And the student quote of the week, number 2, one of my adult students, one of my adult in-person students, is doing better and better at the guitar and is strumming chords, singing songs like a regular performer. And she's choosing the combination of songs that are within her grasp, and some songs are a little bit tough that she's working on getting there. They're not quite ready for prime time yet. And I said to her, you want to have a handful of songs that are just not quite there yet. And she looked at me, she said, oh, I have them. Like, yeah, of course, yeah, that kind of a dumb thing for me to say. But in spirit, I meant well. And what I meant to say, what I was getting at is like, yeah, we all should have those things that are within reach, right? They're within reach, but they're not quite there yet. And that's something to, in case you have what might feel like an overwhelming number of those things. Yeah, I mean, that comes with the territory. Try to whittle down the list and focus on only 1 or 2 at a time, But it just cracked me up, her response. She said, yep, I have them. Okay, Barry says, next weekend I'll be home recovering from surgery. Hoping you guys will keep me company on Saturday. Oh, Barry, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. But I wish you well. I know I speak for all of us here on the live stream, wishing you all the best, and I hope it goes smoothly. Okay, so I want to check off that. How about one more thing, and then we will we'll get into our play along song of the week. And let's see, this is the chord image that one of my students sent to me, and I thought I would share it with you. He thought I would like it, and he was correct. And I thought you guys would like it. Okay, there it is. I'm going to share it. Okay. Pick. Okay. What I'm about to share with you is an interesting presentation of chord theory. The differences between major chords and minor chords, but also importantly, the overlap, how certain things, chords specifically, how chords share some of the same notes. Okay, there we go. So don't go anywhere. And I honestly I don't remember where he got this from, but okay, let's see. Is that what I want right there? He got it from jazzguitarlicks.com. I always want to give credit where credit's due. Okay, so check out this image, you guys, and I'll tweak it if it's hard to read. Okay. Okay, and as usual, I know I always say this, if your screen goes black, bear with it. Bear with me for a second there. Okay, so this is a multicolor image helping all of us remember the differences between major chords, minor chords, diminished, augmented, major 7, and so on and so on and so on. And this is just a very cool way of presenting it. I want to say right from the start that in the red circle, that's a number 1, kind of a European looking number 1. I know it looks like a weird, it doesn't look like exactly like a 1, but that's the number 1 right there. Okay. So remember earlier I was saying chords have, like the C chord has 3 ingredients, a C, an E, and a G. And that's because a C chord follows the formula. A C major chord follows the formula, which is you go to a C major scale and you extract the first note, the third note, and the fifth note of a C major scale, which happens to be C, E, and G. And the result is beautiful harmony. So you could say the formula for a major chord is the first, third, and fifth notes extracted from a major scale. Okay, so to keep things short and quick, I'm just going to say 1, 3, 5. A major chord is 1, 3, 5, but you know what I'm really saying is it's the first, third, and fifth notes from a major scale. Okay, see that one, that big red line, that vertical line? That's what they're communicating is every chord has the first note from the scale. Okay, the minor chord, the minor 7, the diminished 7, every chord has the first note of the major scale in there. Okay, now that's where things start to get fun. The major chord has the third degree of the scale, but the minor chord has the flatted third degree, as does the diminished chord. If you skip down, the minor 7 has the flatted 3, the half diminished has the flatted 3. So all those blue circles, okay? So how you guys doing with this? What do you think? Some chords have the regular third scale degree. Some chords have the flatted third scale degree. And believe me, your ear can hear the difference. I mean, if you can hear the difference between a minor chord and a major chord, that's what you're hearing. So for those of you perhaps who are listening and not watching, this is an image called Chord Construction from jazz-guitar-licks.com. jazz-guitar-licks.com. And one of my students shared this with me. I thought it was pretty interesting, so I thought I'd share it with you. Notice how, where you're comparing all these different chord types, the fifth scale degree can also get messed with. You can flat the 5, like in the case of a diminished chord. You can raise the 5. You can sharp it, as in the case of the augmented chord. Interesting, huh? Now, because I don't own this image, I am not going to make this available on my website because it's not mine. But I think it's a cool image to be aware of. And hey, why not head over to jazz-guitar-licks.com and see what other cool stuff is over there. I'm sure there's lots of cool stuff. And the 7th chord degree. Notice how majors and minors and diminished and augmenteds, they don't even have the 7th scale degree in there, right? I mean, you kind of knew that, but now you can see it visually, right? Any chord with a 7 in the name, that has a 7th scale degree. Kind of interesting. Notice the 2 ones at the bottom. The 2 chords at the bottom are very likely to be chords that you will or have come across. The suspended 2nd chord and the suspended 4th chord. So, Dusty Dave, perfect timing. Dusty Dave says, how would you explain a sus chord? And there you go. Notice how, in the case of the suspended 2 and the suspended 4, neither one of them has the 3rd scale degree in any version of the 3rd scale degree, a flatted 3rd or regular 3rd, neither one. Instead, the suspended 2 puts in the 2nd scale degree instead, and the suspended 4 includes the 4th scale degree. They both have the fifth scale degree. That's what that black vertical line is telling us. They both have that. So you could say the formula for suspended 2 is 1-2-5, and the formula for suspended 4 is 1-4-5. And I love the word suspended so much because it does give that sound of being up in the air, waiting for something to come back down. And of course, good old Free Fallin' by Tom Petty is, for a lot of people, that's how they that's the best, most familiar example of when a song changes from a major chord to a suspended 4 chord. There's your Free Fallin'. He does it with a capo on the 3rd fret. I'm not going to worry about that right now, but so suspended chords. By removing the 3rd scale degree, the chord is neither major nor minor. It's suspended. Its identity is suspended until something happens, right? So I love that name, suspended. It's a perfect description. Hey, Barry, thank you for your super chat. A super chat is how you can show your thanks. It's just that $sign at the bottom of the chat, and I thank you, Barry, for that. Another way you can show appreciation is just throw a thumbs up my way. It's easy, doesn't cost you anything. I learned that I cannot like my own live stream during the live stream. As soon as it's over, I can like it, but I can't like it until it's over. What does that mean? Why? I don't know. I don't get it. Okay. If you're just joining us, we started a little bit early, a lot early. We started 1 hour early today because I have band rehearsal tonight, and I'm so excited. How were you supposed to know we started an hour early? Hey, if you didn't know we were starting an hour early, it's not your fault. I do post information like that on my social media. So do give me a follow on Instagram or Facebook. Just do a search for the term SongBike, SONGBIKE, SongBike on either Instagram or Facebook, and you can follow me, and then you find out about stuff like that. Also, if you're not on my email list, that's another thing I do. I send out emails promoting this live stream, including information like the fact that we're starting an hour earlier. If you're not on my email list, here's an easy way to get on my email list, and you get something for it. Head over to song-bike.com and type in your email address to get the free blues guide, and that then the website adds your email address to my email list. If you don't already have the blues guide, it's free. It's free, and it looks like that. As soon as you enter your email information, it gets emailed to you as a PDF. You can print it out or not, and it's awesome. It's about a dozen pages of cool stuff. Some of it's kind of easy, some of it's not exactly easy, but I'm very proud of it. And I hope to do more blues stuff in the future, but I thought I'd create a cool little blues document to get started. There we go. Hey, Chaz, thank you for your super chat donation as well. So if you want to be on my email list, and I sure hope you do, an easy way to do it is just get that blues guide from my website, and then you're there. And I don't give your email addresses to anybody. I don't know even how to do that. And I don't abuse the privilege of having your email address. I typically send out 1 email a week promoting this live stream. So it's a pretty benign experience. Okay, so how do you feel about that chord information? Raise your hand if you learned something new from looking at that diagram. Anybody learn something new from looking at that? I sure hope you did. Pretty straightforward stuff, right? Now, I don't expect you to memorize it. Don't worry about that. But what I do hope is that it demystifies a little bit about what chords are, where they come from, possibly where the names come from, how they're related to each other, how they overlap. A major chord in a major 7 chord. Well, a major 7 chord is the same 3 notes as a major chord, just 1 more note. Oh, in fact, they don't have a major 6 chord on here. a major 6. Take a wild guess of the 3 notes of a major 6 chord. The 1, the 3, the 5, and the 6. Yeah. So if that image helps demystify chords a little bit, then I feel I've done my job, and I'm happy about that. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. So there we go. Okay, so I think now would be a great time to do our play along song of the night. Let me close this down. Don't want to lose you guys here. Okay. Okay, got that. Perfect. All right, our play along song of the night from the pen of Bob Seger. We have Against the Wind, using a bunch of familiar chords in a very simple strum pattern. I'm going to present this song to you 2 ways, but let's start with this one because this one has the information that you can't live without. Okay, there we go. Against the Wind, 6 chords. Don't let the B minor freak you out. If you have any concerns about the B minor, I'm going to show you a workaround, but it's not a workaround to keep you from learning how to play a B minor. It actually sounds like a good thing to do. Not for every time the B minor approaches, but specifically when the B minor shows up in the chorus and what I have labeled as the outro. Okay. So, G, please do the G chord with your middle ring and pinky. If you're not comfortable with playing G this way, but you kind of like this song, then there's your motivation. A minor, B minor, C, D, E minor. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about those chords in general because they're pretty standard chords for a lot of you. B minor is what I call an inconvenient chord. It's typically not hard. I mean, just out of context, it's not a profoundly difficult chord. It's just that it doesn't pair well with other chords. And getting to B minor is always a pain in the butt, no matter what chord precedes it. That's just life. Hey, RB has joined us. Hey, RB. So, say you get really good at this song, except B minor is hanging you up. Yeah, I get that. You got to keep working on it. But that's what I would expect for many people. B minor, that would be the difficult chord of the 6. Okay, strum pattern. Guess what, my friends? Down, up, 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 down, up. Right? When you listen to the song, the guitar is a piano-driven song. It's piano, bass, and drums. There's no guitar part that we're obligated to play note for note. It's just not that kind of song. There's a lot of great hip piano playing. And the rhythm section. Hey, John Cavallo is here. Hey, John. The rhythm section is great. I mean, it's just a great recording. The piano, bass, and drums, especially the piano, are really driving the tune under Bob Seger's great vocal. And the guitar, in my opinion, is just doing a nice pad of strumming. There's just not some big distinctive guitar part that we need to stress out over, which is good because you can put all your efforts into making the chord changes. Okay, so left hand, you got 6 chords. Right hand, down, up, down, up, down, up. Let's talk about how I'm presenting the song here. And by the way, just to whet your appetite, I'm also going to present it this way too. See that right there? For lots of reasons, many of you are accustomed to seeing songs presented that way. In terms of, how the chords fit the lyrics, which I get that. But bear with me because what you're looking at right now on the screen is, in my humble opinion, that's how many professional musicians would prefer to see the tune, because they're looking for patterns. They're not looking for lyrics. They're looking for patterns. Songs are full of patterns, no more so than pop songs. In my pop songs, you know what I mean. I mean songs that are intended for a wide audience, as I'm sure Bob Seger hoped this song would find. So professional musicians are looking for the patterns so they can get familiar with it as quickly as possible and begin adding whatever makes a song sound fantastic within the patterns that the songwriter wrote into the song, you know? Okay, so I wanna walk you through this presentation, but when you go to play along, I'll go to the other page. Okay, so what's going on here? The intro where it says G16, 16 down ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's what I mean by 16 down ups. And if that sounds really boring out of context, oh yeah, but there's some sweet piano playing. I mean, you guys, if you know the tune, there's a lot going on. It just out of context, it seems like, wow, boy, that guitar player just snoozing there, just strumming down and up. But that's not really a fair way to describe the tune. Verse 1, that's that V1. V1 stands for verse 1. Now here's where the chord changes kick in. 8 down ups on G, 8 down ups on B minor, 4 down ups on C, and so on. It is what it is. I mean, if it seems like, whew, just constant chord changes, yep. This song is a little bit, you know, we've done songs that are a lot easier to understand, a lot easier to memorize than this song. But this song is a good workout for all 6 of those chords. Plus, some of you just like this song. I just like this song, you know. The pre-chorus, that's that PC in the box. The pre-chorus is when the song changes to E minor. Hey, for you songwriters out there, the song's in the key of G. E minor is the relative minor chord in the world of G. And so to go to the relative minor sound at the pre-chorus, it's a great idea, right? It gets the listener's attention, but it's a very reasonable sound. It's not a left field kind of sound. It sounds great. Song goes to E minor for a little bit. And then the chorus brings it back home to G again. Hey, for what it's worth, check it out. The chorus, notice, unlike the verse, the chorus zips through the G with only 4 down ups and the B minor with only 4 down ups, unlike the verse. Yeah, I'm not saying that Bob Seger did that with some huge intention, but the chorus, I mean, you want to bring it on home, like get right to the, you know, the catchiest melody, you're not spending too much time in any one chord. I guess I'm not totally surprised that the chorus kind of mimics the verse, but doesn't spend as much time on those chords. Okay, now the chorus is when okay, in the chorus, see where it says C2, B minor 2, A minor 2? You could do exactly what it says. This is when he sings, older now, but still running. Or young and strong, running against the wind. Okay, so in the first chorus, he sings young and strong. We're running against the wind. That's right, that C2, B minor 2, A minor 2 part. So what I wrote there, 2 down ups on C. By the way, to be clear, we're talking about the second half of the chorus, okay? C, 2 down ups. B minor, 2 down ups. A minor, 2 down ups. C, 2 down ups. And then you're home free on that G. Now, you're welcome to do that exact thing. It's going to sound great. You could also, instead of committing to the B minor chord, just play the note B, a nice low B, 5th string, 2nd fret, and just wait out the time that you would have spent strumming. It would sound like this. I'm going to do 2 down ups on C, down, up, B, A minor, C. Older now, but still running against the wind. I mean, is it a cop-out? Well, if you're doing it because you just can't make the B minor change, yes, you can feel all guilty about it. Is it tasteful? 100% tasteful. We were young and strong and running against. You know, it really brings attention to that bass note. It sounds very hip. So no shame in playing that note at all. So you guys see what I'm doing? I'm playing the note B in the lower, octave, the lower register on the guitar. I'm playing the note B instead of committing to the B minor chord. It goes by so fast, and it's a cool substitution. Yeah, so the number is specifically how many down ups. So if it says C2, it means go down up twice. Down, up, down, up. Okay, so the number, how many down ups? And a down up counts as one thing. Down up, that's one thing. So 16 down ups is going to take a long time, for example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's a long time, right? Okay. So, and again, in a minute when we do this, I'm going to flip over to the alternative way of looking at things. But both of these are going to be posted on my website, both the lyric version, the lyric-based version, and this version. Okay, so just in terms of the structure, once you make it through the intro and the verse 1 and the pre-chorus and the chorus, no surprises at all. Next comes verse 2. Another pre-chorus, another chorus. Then comes verse 3. But verse 3, instead of singing, he lets the piano take over and do a very tasteful, very hip piano solo. But the piano solo is on top of the same chord changes he would have been singing over. Just that instead of him singing a third verse, the piano, and this is very standard stuff, right? The form, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus. And then get a solo thing in there, but you don't change the form of the tune. You just have the piano instead of the singing. Coming out of the piano is a pre-chorus that's moving 8 miles a minute for months at a time. The final chorus is, it's so close to being the same as a regular chorus. It killed me because I want to keep these things as simple as possible. The final chorus, see at the end of the final chorus, there's a G with an 8 and a circle around it. That's the big difference. The regular chorus ends with 16 down ups on the G. The final chorus, it's only 8 down ups. And then the final part, I'm just labeling it the outro. Older now, but still running against the wind. And the outro, the band just repeats that C, G chord progression over and over and over and over again, repeats and fades. In fact, if you want to get keep in score, for the last approximately 90 seconds of the tune, I mean, the song's over, right? The song's over. And for about the last 90 seconds, it's nothing but the band vamping over the C to G chord changes while Bob Seger sings his heart out and see the young man run and all those, he's just singing it out. But 90 seconds, that's an eternity, in my opinion, for a pop tune. But to tell you the truth, if you would ask me yesterday, I would have said, I don't know, it's just a regular song. The ending wouldn't have, but you do a deep dive in a song, and that's when you realize little details like, holy cow, someone signed off on that, like 90 seconds of the band vamping over the 1 chord and the 4 chord, and Bob Seger singing what he sings. Okay. But 90 seconds, that's a long time. All right. So now let's do this right here. The only thing that might throw you off, and we're going to start in a minute. The only thing that might throw you off is on the document you're looking at right now, I didn't identify where the piano solo is. So I'll call an audible as we're doing it, but I'll tell you right now. Okay, the piano solo. Now I know where it is. The piano solo comes after the second chorus, after found myself seeking shelter against the wind. See where my cursor is? The piano solo is in between I found myself seeking shelter against the wind, but it's prior to, well, those drifters' days are past me now. Okay, so during that piano solo, you will be strumming. You know what? I think we should leave it out because it's just going to be kind of epic. Well, should we? It's a long time. It's just a lot of yeah. You know what I'm going to do, you guys? I'm going to decide. I'm going to make an executive decision. I found myself seeking shelter against the wind. And I'm going to give you a heads up. I'll give you a big nod. And I'm going to strum on the G for a little while. And I'm going to give you a big head nod. You'll hear me say, well, those drifters. And that's how you know it's time for the E minor. So with all due respect to the great piano playing on the song, we're going to zip over that. All right. I'm ready if you're ready. Let's do this thing. I better wet my whistle. That's one thing I've learned. All right. What could go wrong? I'll see you on the other side. Vamping on the G chord. A 1, 2, 3, 4. It seems like yesterday. It was long ago. Jane was lovely, she was the queen of my nights. There in the darkness with the radio playing low, and the secrets that we shared, the mountains that we moved, caught like a wildfire out of control, till there was nothing left to burn and nothing left to prove. And I remember what she said to me, how she swore it never would end. I remember how she held oh so tight. Wish I didn't know now what I didn't know then. Against the wind, we're running against the wind. Young and strong and running against the wind. And the years rolled slowly past. I found myself alone, surrounded by strangers I thought were my friends. Found myself further from my home, man. I guess I lost my way. Oh, so many roads. I was living and running to live. Never worried about paying, even how much I owe. Moving 8 miles a minute for months at a time, breaking all of the rules that would bend. Began to find myself searching for shelter again and again. Against the wind, there's something against the wind. I found myself seeking shelter against the wind. Well, those drifters' days are past me now. I got so much more to think about. Deadlines and commitments. What to leave in, what to leave out. Against the wind, I'm still running against the wind. I'm older now, but still running against the wind. Well, I'm older now and still running against the wind. 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 All right, I should have slowed it down a little bit. Got off to a quick start. I mean, that's about the tempo of the tune, but in hindsight, yeah, I do wish I played it a little bit slower. There's no rush, right? Okay, thoughts, comments? I like it when a song has straightforward strumming and you can give all your attention to the chords, you know, or the opposite. But what I find is way more common is when, or what I like to work with as a teacher, is songs where the strumming is pretty straightforward, and you can give all your attention to your fretting hand. Compared to some of the songs we've done, this song is 6 chords, and it's not a slow tune. So if that felt like a little bit of a workout, I get it. Then again, you guys, many of you have been doing these play-alongs with me for quite a while, and maybe you guys cruise through that, and you're ready for more. All right. So that document, both pages, will be available on my website very soon. If you're not a member of my website, song-bike.com, that's where you can go to get access to tons and tons of PDFs that reflect stuff we've done in our lives. And pretty much every live stream generates a couple of lesson plans or songs like that. And those get uploaded to my website. I know because I upload them. And then they're available for you guys to print out and review. And there's lots of other stuff on my website too. Those of you who are already members of my website, thank you. It helps support the cause, helps support what we're doing. Okay. So I'm curious. Let me know in the chat if that song was kind of easy and doable for you, if that was the hardest thing you've ever done, somewhere in between. I'm kind of curious. Okay. While I await your verdict, who's in town this week? I'll tell you who's in town. Some super talented people. Tony Trischka. Tony Trischka, many of us know him as a banjo player, but I believe he plays great guitar as well. Tony Trischka is coming through town. I will put a link to one of his YouTube videos. Well, actually, it's a very cool, now I think about it, I found a cool video of him playing with Molly Tuttle and Sam Bush. Sam Bush, veteran bluegrass mandolin legend, Sam Bush, Molly Tuttle, rising star in the bluegrass guitar world, and Tony Trischka on banjo. So Tony Trischka is on tour, and I'll put a link to a YouTube video of him playing with those other all-stars. The 4 freshmen are coming through town. The 4 freshmen, some great harmonies. If you're into 4 guys sing great harmonies, keep your eyes open for the 4 freshmen. And Joan Osborne. Joan Osborne is coming through town. I like Joan Osborne a lot. Joan Osborne is a big Bob Dylan fan and has recorded a number of Bob Dylan songs. And I'll put a link in the description of this live stream to Joan Osborne doing Tangled Up in Blue, I believe. I picked out some songs yesterday. Seems so long ago, but it was just yesterday. Go figure. Okay, check. I'm checking off some notes here. I'm going to take a minute and see what you guys are saying. In the chat. Okay, talking about Against the Wind. People are saying different things. Some people are saying it was doable. Some people are saying had a hard time keeping a rhythm as you're doing it. Yeah, I wish I'd done it a little bit slower. It would still sound okay on a little bit slower. Okay, but let me know. I'm curious. I mean, if everyone's telling me, hey, man, that song's too easy, or if everyone's telling me, hey, man, that song's too hard, that gives me a sense. Hey, don't forget to vote in our poll. Speaking of giving feedback, on your dream gig, would you like to be the lead guitar all-star, or would you rather be the rhythm guitar player? And just to throw in an extra bonus, if you're the rhythm guitar player, you also get the superpower of singing great harmony vocals. And so far, that's the choice that's in the lead, which I get. My opinion, I mean, if I'm like you and you're like me, we want to be good at everything in a perfect world. But thing about rhythm guitar is that is the song, right? A drummer needs the rhythm guitar player to set the feel of the tune. The singer needs the rhythm guitar player to play the chords. The bass player needs the rhythm guitar player to flesh out what would otherwise be just the bass line, right? You need the rhythm guitar player, unless it's a piano player. Elton John is not desperate for a rhythm guitar player. But lead guitar is great. It's great. Just that I wanted to, as a young guitar player, I wanted to make the song happen, not wait for the song to happen so I could play my lead guitar. Maybe I wasn't patient enough to be a lead guitar player. Maybe that was my problem. I wanted to be in charge, man. I wanted to have the chords and the words and everything be ready to go. I think it's because as a kid, I played drums in a band as a kid, And you do a lot of waiting when you're the drummer, a lot of waiting for stuff to happen. And couldn't take it. And that's why I'm sitting with you today as a guitar player. I love the drums. John says the chord changes are okay for Against the Wind. Yeah, good. If you want to get to the point where you understand exactly what your job is, you can do every motor skill adequately. You can play a B minor chord. You can strum down up. You want to get to the point where you have no more questions and there's nothing left to do but repeat and repeat and repeat with good technique, with patience, with a slow tempo. I was thinking about how I try to avoid using the word easy. And so what I'm going to try to say instead is I like presenting material that is easy to understand. It's clear. It's with a little effort, you understand what your job is. It's easy to understand. Doesn't mean it's physically a piece of cake, right? But if I do my job well, you get the idea and you know what your task is. And then hopefully you're at a point, and this is a good point to be, you're at a point where there's nothing left to do, but just constant repetition. And that's when you find out how much you like the song. Like, is it worth it? Do I love this song? Maybe, maybe not, Yeah, you find out the hard way. Okay, so I'm checking off a bunch of things. Don't forget, if you have a question for me, we've had some good questions already tonight. If you have a question for me, don't be shy. You're welcome to put it in the chat anytime. When we're at episode number 120, back on episode number 1, I just kind of figured these shows would be you guys just ask me a bunch of questions, and it's sort of turned into a combination of your questions and comments, and then things that I like to bring to the table. Partly, some things are things that I did with a student very recently, and it's fresh in my mind. I think to myself, "Oh, that would be good for the live stream." You'd be surprised how many times during my work week I think, "Ooh." I literally make a note to myself, "Oh, during the live stream, let's talk about that," or that'd be a cool subject for the live stream. All right. So we have a few minutes left, and I want to do 2 things with you guys. And one, I mentioned this earlier, and I want to see if I can track this down. So bear with me, talk amongst yourselves. If I can track it down, it's going to be worth it. Well, it's going to be worth it no matter what. But if I can do it quicker rather than slower, that would make me happy. Okay, yes. Oh, I love it. All right, I'm going to, sure. Okay. If you're like me, and I know I am, I think about my mental health. I'm not a kid anymore. And I see stories like this and news like this, and it makes me so happy. This makes me way more happy than it would have when I was a kid. I don't think I could have spelled dementia when I was a kid, and now I am one. What? From Monash University in Australia, the headline is, "Music can stave off dementia by up to 40%. I'll just read you. This is from a November 10th, 2025 article online. Listening to music when you're over 70 years of age has been linked to a 39% reduction in the risk of dementia, according to a study of over 10,800 older people. Benefits of listening to music, this is obviously a link that I'll put in the description of, here we go, of this live stream. And I'm going to scroll a bit here. Now, they're talking about listening to music, but don't go anywhere because Okay, see where my cursor is under the photo? While regularly engaging in both music listening and playing was associated with a 33% of decreased risk of dementia and a 22% decreased risk of cognitive impairment. So um, I'm I'm hoping that's on top of the other other, shouldn't you get more? Shouldn't you reduce the risk even more by playing the instrument as opposed to just listening to it? Nevertheless, the bottom line is keep doing what you're doing, man. Notice they don't say how good you are or how good you have to be, right? Yeah. While no cure currently available, with no cure currently available for dementia, the importance of identifying strategies, I love that word, to help prevent or delay the onset of the disease is critical. Uh-huh. This all can be influenced by one's own environmental and lifestyle choices. Yeah, ma'am. Okay, so again, I'm going to put a link to that article in the description of this live stream. Is it shocking news? Nah. Is it awesome news? Heck yeah. Heck yeah. So, considering that I'm well aware that many of you, are tough on yourself. Maybe you think, I can't do that B minor chord, or you struggle with this or that. Hey, man, keep doing it though. Keep doing it instead of beating yourself up, you know, regarding how any one skill is progressing or not progressing. Yeah, your brain loves all of it. One part of your brain loves all of it. So, um, good news, right? Good news. It popped up on my social media feed, and I thought I would share it with you guys. Uh, okay, boom, boom, boom. Some of you might be aware that there we go. I have very strong hope and faith that the day will come when playing your instrument for half an hour a day will be as acceptable as going to the gym, going for a walk, drinking 8 glasses of water, all that kind of stuff. It'll be not very remarkable. Have you done your instrument today? Not can you play Stairway to Heaven anymore? Like, have you run a marathon today? No. Did you go out and get some exercise? Did you walk around the block for 30 minutes? Like, no one's saying, hey, did you run a marathon or not? Can you play free bird or not? It's have you spent your 30 minutes with your instrument or not, right? Uh, so that day will come. It can't come soon enough when it just becomes part of mainstream culture. You don't have to explain to anybody that you're going to the other room to go play your guitar, that you don't have to ask for permission or wonder what they're thinking. It's like, well, you better go to the other room and play your guitar because, or keep your brain healthy. That day will come. It will. Okay, so I want to share that with you guys. Check it off the list. Check. Okay. How about before I wrap up? How about those of you who want to play Christmas music? I'm going to give you one more, not one more, but one of the. That's a good one. Playing Christmas tune. It's not too late. Get yourself this book. This book from my website. What do you get? You get a song presented 3 ways. It's not even December yet. If you start now, you can get something together by December. Okay, for example, Come All Ye Faithful. Okay, Come All Ye Faithful played as a single note, single string melody. Easy peasy, right? Come All Ye Faithful, by the way, all the lyrics are included, presented as a rhythm guitar player would approach it. Come all ye faithful. All the chords, the strum pattern with the lyrics right underneath. If you want to play and sing, or you want to play for carolers, or so someone else can sing, we got you covered. And then the third way, playing, there's 31 holiday songs in here, kind of combining the two. Some of you, this might be your jam. It's going to sound like this. The melody is there, but so are some harmony strums on certain chords. I'll tell you right now, the chords are all kind of easy. You just heard me do basically G, D, and E minor, you know. Okay, so just want to whet your appetite. The sales pitch is going to end in about 10 seconds. 31 awesome songs. It's the complete Christmas songbook. Holiday favorites arranged for beginning, intermediate, and advanced guitarists, in my opinion. It checks those 3 boxes. How can you get a copy of the book? It's an electronic book. You go to my website, song-bike.com, and you order the book, and it shows up in your email inbox instantly. And you can print it out if you choose, but you don't have to. You can print out one song at a time, or just enjoy the whole book on your computer screen. Okay, that's my sales pitch. That's it. I got to pay the bills, my friends. Got to pay. And I know some of you have been buying it recently, and I thank you for those of you who have bought the book previously. I appreciate that. I'm very proud of that book, and you're going to get years and years of holiday enjoyment from that book. There you go. Okay, end of sales pitch. How about one more thing before it's time to go? This is something that I feel strongly about. This is that target notes for you lead guitar players. Target notes. I want to take one more minute. I realized my looper still had saved the background exercise, the 12-bar blues. Where are we here? There we go. Make sure this is the right thing. Yes. Okay. That. If this document looks familiar, it sure should, because I believe 2 live streams ago, maybe live stream 118, we did this. If not, that live stream is a very recent live stream. And I wanted to go over it again last week, and we just ran out of time. So what is the point? First of all, in the description of this live stream will be a link to a great YouTube backing track. It's a blues backing track in the key of A. And it's going to sound like, come on here. There we go. The backing track is basically, oh, come on. Don't do me like that. Okay, well, I thought it was saved. That's okay. I'll play it again. The backing track is basically going to sound like this. Hold on. And the idea is that you're going to target certain target notes along with the backing track. The backing track is going to be simply a more glamorous version of what I'm doing right now, with the chord names on the top of on the screen. So you know when the band is on an E chord or a D chord or an A chord. And then you play along with it. Okay, so this is important enough. I'm going to turn this down for a second. This is important enough that I want to go over it twice. You know, your challenge is to pick one of these minor pentatonic diagrams. And I'm going to vote. I'm going to make this super big here. I'm going to vote for that one, the one at the top of the page right there now. Okay, that's sort of the classic one that we all learn sooner or later. The notes you're going to play are the notes that are named, like the note A, the 5th fret on the 6th string, and the notes that are represented just by the black dot. 5th fret, 8th fret on the fat 6th string, and then the D and the E on the 5th string, the black dot and the A on the 4th string, and so on. As the backing track is going, it'll tell you, here's the A chord, here's a D chord, right? Your challenge, my challenge for you, is to play that note that matches the band's chord at the moment they change. you know, and I'll illustrate that in a second. It just makes you a far more professional sounding lead guitar player. It's not good enough just to memorize a scale and mess around with it, right? Okay, so here's the backing track that I made. Okay, starting from the top. There's the A. Now I know the D is coming up. I'm going to pick a D. I know it's staying on the D for a while, but I knew it was going to get back to the A. I know the E is coming up, E like echo. Here's the D. Back to the A. Now, of course, you can play notes in between. Here's the D. Back to the A. It's staying on the A, but here comes the D. Back to A. Here comes the E. To D. Okay. Now I know I'm whipping through this. For those of you who did not catch this the first time around, that is okay. I believe, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it was Livestream 118, where I spent more time introducing this topic. This is a skill you cannot live without. If you think memorizing a scale and putting the right finger in the right place, if you think that's important, this is equally important. It's the next step, knowing, being aware of what the band is doing, and then playing a very specific note every time the band changes their overall sound. I keep saying, when they're on the A chord or on the D chord, obviously it's more of like a bluesy shuffle pattern that's happening, but that's just a convenient way to talk about, what the band is doing in the biggest picture. Okay, so to be continued, right? In the description of this live stream will be that link to blues backing track that I think is really good, and millions of other people do too, because it's got millions of views on YouTube. The document you're looking at is available on my website. There we go. What's that one? Oh yeah, that's the other way of looking at it. The 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. Okay, but both of these pages are available on my website, and I believe they're just called Target Notes 145. Target Notes 145 with pentatonics. I believe that's the name of it on my website, in the PDF section of my website. Okay, how about if we end there? But we'll do more of this, especially if you guys have questions and thoughts once you give it a shot using these minor pentatonic, A minor pentatonic patterns, A minor, with that specific blues backing track. I'm curious to see how it goes for you, and seeing how I can help. My parting advice is to pick one of these 5 and get good at it with one of the 5, and that will get your ear tuned in. Earlier tonight we talked about, does playing a musical instrument help your ear? This sure does, because you'll get so accustomed to hearing the band shift gears, to a D sound or an E sound, and when you go with them, oh, your ear is gonna love that experience. Doesn't mean you're limited to doing that for the rest of your life, but you got to start someplace. That's a great way to start. Okay, to be continued. All right, you guys. So, quick reminder: next Saturday, no live stream at all. With apologies, I'm going to be watching my son swim in a big swim tournament. Mrs. SongBike and I will be attending that. No live stream next weekend. Saturday, December 13th, I'll be performing for you rather than being an educator. 5 p.m. Eastern to 8 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, December 13th. And we'll be streaming it live, knock on wood. And for those of you who have watched previous streams, of me performing. I'm really bound and determined to make it a better quality visual and audio experience. Let's see how it goes. But I really do want to see if we can up our game a little bit. And I have a couple weeks to figure that out. And so the next time we'll be doing this, I think will be Saturday, December 20th. I know, long ways away. All right. Hey, thank you guys for being here. I'm going to say a few good nights. Stephen, RB, John, True, Jamie, thank you for being here. Who else? Chaz, thanks for being here. And thank you, everybody, for your super chats. Dusty Dave, Barry, thank you for being here. Beginner Guitar Lessons has been our moderator. Give him a round of applause. Thank you for being here. Beginner Guitar Lessons. Matt, thank you for being here. Winston, thank you for being here. Okay, and Christian, yeah. All right, you guys, thanks for bearing with me. I know we started an hour earlier tonight. It was good to have you all. I'm off to band rehearsal. Well, I'm going to do the time stamping, and then I'm off to band rehearsal tonight. Can't wait to play some of our songs for you guys. We got a bunch of original songs that are sounding better and better and better. All right, guys, take care. I hope your December is great, and can't wait to see you next time. All right, bye, everybody.